Clover Park in Auckland, the latest scene of a gang shooting as a tense turf war continues to rage on in the city of Sales. So what do we do about it? An idea this morning from the National Party. This is from their police spokesperson. He says, let's crack down hard like the Australians do. Let's bring in anti-consorting laws, where if you have, say, 3 gang members congregating in public, you can lock them up. Joining me this morning for his take, that and police pursuits, is Lance Burdett, former chief police negotiator and 22 years in the police. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Do these things work?
It works in Australia for sure. Rather than go for the drivers of crime and trying to get amongst the gang and help support them, they crack down on them, and it works. And
I suppose you'd end up with more gang members in prison, wouldn't you? Because the bar is low to get them there.
This is the thing, right? So plus it drives gangs underground. They no longer wear patches, but they're still there. So they're harder to police.
Right.
So that's the problem that Australia is finding.
OK, because you can still gather without your patches on, and who's going to know?
That's exactly it.
You've worked in Australia as well. What was your experience like there with the way that they deal with the gangs?
They're very, very harsh. If you turn up in a town or a city with patched up gangs, the police just crack down on you really, really hard. Literally to the point of going through arresting people for all sorts of things. If you jaywalk, you're fined. They really do hammer them.
And does that keep them out of town?
It keeps them out of town, but makes them go undercover. It makes them go underground. And so they're still there, but you just don't know they're there.
So what's worse, a gang member you can see or a gang member you can't?
Well, for me, it's a gang member you can see and somebody you can sit and chat next to and get alongside and understand why they're doing what they do. You know, gangs, you associate with like-minded people, and gangs, let's face it, a lot of them are involved in criminal element, so we've got to crack down on them, absolutely.
Lance Burdett here with us this morning. I want to play you a clip. This is from last week on our program, the Police Commissioner Andrew Coster revealing on the show that they are looking at making tweaks to their pursuit policy. Take a look.
A policy we are looking at, there's a real balance again to be struck here. The 10 years before the policy change, we killed 60 people through police pursuits. No one has died in a police pursuit since we changed the policy. But obviously there's a balance. And the question is, well, for what offence would we be prepared to put the public at risk by engaging in a pursuit?
Interesting revelations there. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think poor choice of words, but the understanding was that, 60 people have lost their life because of police pursuits. Since the policy came in, no one's lost their life.
Is that true, though? Because we still have fleeing driver incidents where, and there was a case in April in Auckland of a fleeing driver who died. I mean, is this just clever accounting?
Perhaps it is, but look at the ram raids. The offenders have been caught after. So when I was a pursuit controller in the 111 call centre, it's a heck of a thing to do. I mean, having GPS in the cars would be great to be able to know where police cars are so you can encircle the offender. Police drivers aren't trained in high-speed pursuits. You don't get that training at the college. You're trained in low-speed pursuits. So there's a whole lot of other things. We don't have dash cams. So there's a whole lot of other things.
Are you saying we don't have GPS in our police cars?
No.
What?
It's very hard as a pursuit controller. You're relying on staff on the ground to tell you where they are. And so when you've got who do a fantastic job, a dispatcher, who's sitting there trying to figure out where all the police cars are, they can't see. They're relying on others and they're putting little marks on screens. And as a pursuit controller, you're standing there, you're trying to think of, so where are they? What's the speed limit? What's the weather conditions? And you're continually asking the driver these questions. And I listen for their voice, the pitch of their voice, because sometimes they might not quite be accurate in the information they're giving you. And many times, I've abandoned pursuit, ordered the abandonment of a pursuit where they have to stop, turn their ignition off and acknowledge that they've stopped.
Do you think that our change in pursuits policy has led to criminals, particularly young offenders, feeling more brazen and knowing they won't be chased by the cops and so doing it?
Is it that they know they won't be chased, or are they doing it for other reasons? I mean, young people don't have their full faculty of logic of their brain. They're born curious. They like notoriety. There's a whole lot of underlying reasons as to why this is. Look at the places where they are going to ram raid. Some of them are just basic needs, clothing, etc. So, and plus we're putting it up there. Young people love to glamorise things. So we've got cars showing on media, cars driving around through malls and things, and they want that notoriety.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's such and such, we could do that.
Lance, thanks very much for your time this morning.